Hello foodies, welcome into another video. In this one we're going to be talking about a lot of DBD news, all of it concerning leaks. That's right, a lot of things seem to have been leaked by pretty reliable data miners. And keep in mind, the leaker that did this, just to establish some of the credibility here, they were the first ones I saw that leaked that chapter 6, or not chapter 6, I'm sorry, chapter 24 for year 6 anniversary was going to be an original chapter, and lo and behold, it really looks like that's happening. It really looks like that is in fact confirmed at this point, even though when I say confirmed, I want to be careful with that. As what I mean is it's been confirmed by more substantive leaks and not by DBD themselves. So if you have been living in a bit of a bubble, maybe you took some time off from DBD Twitter or Reddit or whatever because you just wanted to be happy for a little bit. And if you did, I don't blame you. Good on you. Take more time off of Twitter. It's good for you. But if you took time off and you don't know, well, we seem to know the identities of the upcoming killer and survivor for the anniversary event. Those being the Dredge and Haddie Carr. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I have gotten this name wrong in the past. I was on track to become a teacher, and I was doing some observations, and a student had this last name, and I butchered it a few times. Very, very sweet child, good student, all that, and finally, somebody else had to say for her because I guess she was too shy. Somebody was like, "Hey, Mr. Day, you are getting the name wrong," and I was like, "Oh, I am," and they told me it was pronounced Carr, so we're gonna say Carr. If that's not right, I am sorry, guys. I'm really trying here, but Haddie Carr and the Dredge. So we also know a little bit about what the map looks like. We have one screenshot of it, maybe two. The second one, I don't know, it kind of looked like Haddonfield to me, but they say it's another one of it. So, look, we have pretty substantive information about what's coming in chapter 24, but the same account also apparently leaked chapters 25 and 26, which is huge. That's almost a year's worth of content that they've leaked for us, which I'm going to be honest. I have thoughts on that. We'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. For the time being, I'm just going to walk through what we know, and we're going to put "know" in parentheses because we don't really know anything, but what we know, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on things. So, what do we know? We know that chapter 24 is going to be an original chapter. It is going to feature a killer called the Dredge and a survivor named Haddie Carr. Gosh, I'm going to get this wrong every time. We also know the perks for Haddie and the Dredge. So what I want to do now is I want to go over those. I think I might make a full video talking about some concerns I have, but for the time being, I'm going to go over the power of the Dredge and the perks that are coming out with this chapter. And we're going to go over those and I'll give my thoughts. So the Dredge's power is called Reign of Darkness. And at first I thought it looked a little complex because I was like, oh gosh, look at all of that text. But it actually boils down to a pretty simple power. So Reign of Darkness. Like a dark thought, the Dredge is difficult to shake. And when night falls, it's nearly impossible. So this is a two-part power. Part one is the gloaming. I read that right. Yeah, okay. So basically, you press the power button and it activates the power. Once activated, you create a remnant. You leave what I will imagine is kind of like when you go over a hag phantasm trap or when spirit phases and her husk is left behind. It's just going to be an inanimate version of the killer, a remnant, right? So you leave that behind. Once the remnant is behind and you're off doing whatever, let's say, I've gone to the other side of the map, you're able to aim at a locker and press the ability button, and you can teleport into it. Let's see, or press the attack button to return. Oh, well, that's interesting. Wait, press the ability to teleport into it, or press the attack button to return the room. That's interesting. Okay, see, the first time, I read through this a few times, and every time I somehow missed the part about the attack button. Okay, anyway, so the remnant is disabled when teleporting to a locker, or when a survivor touches it. So that's kind of, okay, I see what they're doing there. So it leaves a remnant behind, aimed at a locker. You can teleport into the locker, or you can press the attack button to return to the remnant. Okay, I was trying to figure out how that worked. The remnant is disabled when teleporting into a locker or when a survivor touches it. That's going to be exploited like hell. While in a locker, aim at any other locker and press the ability button to teleport again. Each teleport consumes a power token. Exiting the locker or returning to your remnant will activate the gloaming's cooldown. after which all power tokens are recharged. Survivors can place locks on lockers to slow the dredge exiting them. That's interesting. So basically, if you are doing one of the gens that has a locker right beside it, I especially think about maps like Midwich where that's very common, you are going to want to slap a lock on there, it seems. But be careful, the dredge can break locks by exiting the locked locker, say that 5 times fast, or performing a base attack on the lock. Each locker can only be locked once. So this is a resource that needs to be managed. Let's see what else. There is the Nightfall ability. So that's where this one gets interesting, because the teleporting in lockers, that has been talked about as a killer power for the longest time. And did they do it well? I don't know. I'm going to need to see it before I judge it one way or the other. In the very least, I'll give it the benefit of doubt and say I'm interested. As far as the Nightfall power goes, I'm actively excited about it. So the special part of the power is special ability Nightfall, which has a night. Okay, so I'll read. I could paraphrase it, but it's on the screen. You can read it too. The Nightfall meter builds when a healthy survivor is injured, a survivor is hooked, or the teleport power is used, which, by the way, gonna stop right there. I like that this is something that rewards the killer for playing the game. This is not something where, you know, you're going to get more power for camping them. No, go out, get hooks. That's how you're going to do it. That's good. Go out, hit survivors. Great. Maybe there will be some synergy with Save the Best for Last. I don't know. The Nightfall meter also fills faster for each survivor in the injured state. Survivors are going to want to heal. Think Oni here. Once the Nightfall meter is full, Nightfall begins. And here comes the really cool part of this power, the really interesting part. During Nightfall, survivors must navigate in total darkness. The dredge's teleport is faster with a shorter cooldown, and there is no terror radius. Nightfall ends after 60 seconds. Survivors destroying the remnant also reduces the time of an active Nightfall. Now, I wonder about this. When it says total darkness, does that mean pitch black? Because you might say, yes, duh, food, total darkness, pitch black. But surely it's just going to be low light, right? Surely you're going to be able to see, because that's where this is so interesting to me. I'm not going to react super positively or negatively because I just don't know enough yet. If it's total darkness, that might be a little too strong. If it's not total darkness, then we're doing a little better. We're doing all right there. But overall, as far as the power goes, I don't have nearly as substantive of an opinion on the power as I'm going to have on the perks. You're going to hear me clicking as I go to the perks here. Okay, cool. So, the perks, I have a lot stronger opinions on. The power, I will leave it at saying, we'll see. We'll see, because, you know, sometimes it's hard to know before you get there. It's hard to know. So, this is a case where I just really need to see it in action. I can't wait till the PTB comes out and I get to test this, because assuming all this is real, by the way, this could just be an elaborate hoax, you know, who knows, but it doesn't seem to be. Again, this is DBD leaks, so they have leaked things in the past that have proven to be true. So we'll see. Anyway, let's go over to the perks. So we will start with the killer perks and then go to the survivor perks. And here's what's interesting. I think there is pretty big cause for concern for one perk from both sides. And then, oh gosh, let's just get into it. Okay, so Septic Touch. This is a teachable dredge perk. Everything eventually returns to the land of shadows. Healing only delays the inevitable. Whenever a survivor performs the healing action within your terror radius, the survivor suffers from blindness and exhaustion. These effects linger for 6 seconds after a healing action is interrupted by any means. Yeah, that's not... So I don't want to be the guy that just jumps on and gets all negative, like, immediately. I'm trying to think of ways that you could use this one. And I tried... This isn't all, like, on the spot. I tried to think about it a little bit beforehand, too, because this is not my first time reading these perks. I'm not pulling your, like, you're like, oh, this is my first time seeing these, so how am I supposed to know? No, I've thought about it. Obviously, exhausted, you know, that's a pretty powerful status effect, but, gosh, how many times realistically, I don't know. How many times realistically are you going to be able to get value out of that? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we'll move on. Dissolution. Everything turns to dust. It is as inevitable as the coming of the night. 3 seconds after injuring a survivor by any means, Dissolution activates for 12 seconds. This is the powerful one. The next time a survivor vaults over a pallet inside of your terror radius, The entity will break that pallet at the end of the vault, and this perk deactivates. Now, this is where I'm not sure how this one works. Because if this is a one-time thing, the perk is hilariously weak. If this is an unlimited thing, this is just every time you injure a survivor. Basically, this is saying that if you injure them and then they vault within the next 12 seconds, that pallet's gone. That feels gross to me. That feels... I'm not one to usually cry for survivors. I find myself playing a lot more Survivor these days, but getting rid of their main method of self-defense feels weird. This is one of those perks that feels to me like it's either going to prove to be like grossly overpowered or completely useless with no middle ground. So we'll see how this goes. Next up, Darkness Revealed. This one doesn't have a little description, a little lore intro. So in your presence, places only... never mind. It does. Places once thought to be safe are perhaps the most dangerous. When you open a locker, the auras of all survivors within 16 meters of any lockers are revealed to you for 3 seconds. It has a 30-second cooldown. This one... it's going to be useful for niche builds. It does give you information on where the survivors are, what gens they might be working on. Don't think you're going to see it a lot. I don't think you're going to see it ran very often. Let's move over to Haddie's perks, which are kind of much of the same. So let's see. I have a lifetime of chasing the darkness has taught you that the best disinfectant is light. After a successful killer blind action, the killer is affected by the blindness status effect for 30 seconds. This perk grants the ability to rummage through an open chest once per trial and will be guaranteed a basic flashlight, which I think a basic one is the yellow ones. And when it says the killers have the blindness, does that mean they can't see hooks? They can't see gens? Like, what does that mean? Because that doesn't... has that been in the game? Killer blindness? I know what survivor blindness is. Has that been in the game for killer? Because if so, that seems kind of wild to me. That seems the ability to take away a killer's sight. Is that huge? No, I don't think so. Sight as in, seeing generators through walls and things like that. Is that huge? No. But it doesn't seem like a very healthy perk. We're going to see how that goes. Inner focus. You have honed your ability to see through the haze of the Ravage. You can see other survivors' scratch marks within a 32-meter range in front of you. Whenever a survivor loses a health state within 32 meters range of you, the killer's aura is revealed for 5 seconds. Why on earth would you run this? I mean, sincerely, why would you run this? I am really at a loss for this one. Out of all of these, I think this is the most useless perk. This one, gosh, what in the hell happened here? Next up, we have Overzealous. Fighting back against the Ravage motivates and inspires you. After cleansing any totem this perk activates, your generator repair speed is increased by 4%. It does deactivate when you lose a health state by any means. Now, I am trying to be rational with this one. I am trying not to overreact because I thought Dark Theory was going to be a little too strong. And so far, I have not seen it run since the first week it was used. I still think it has pretty strong potential. I just don't see it. In this instance, who at behavior, and I try not to call them out. I try not to get too aggressive with it. Who saw this and said, you know what we need? What we need is to make the gens go faster. The gens aren't going fast enough. Why? Why? Oh my gosh. No. This is so bad. This is so bad. No. That means you could, at any point in time, and this is just a worst case scenario, I understand this is not going to happen very often, you could have all 4 survivors with a 4% buff to their speed, and that's before you factor in the use of toolboxes, the use of Prove Thyself. Oh my goodness. This is bad. If this comes to the game, this is very bad. If this comes to the game, the only benefit I can see from this is it might kind of defeat the boon meta because obviously you can't boon totems that have been broken. So you're going to have to choose. Do we boon them for Circle of Healing, or do we break them for Overzealous? So from a diversity and gameplay standpoint, I can see the benefit. But from the standpoint of gens already fly by, so why make them faster? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I try to be a chill streamer, but oh man, this one hurts. This is really bad. But hey, that's gonna do it for the perks. Wow. Yeah, yikes. So that's the big dump. Let me know what you guys think down below of this upcoming chapter, because this is the one we have the most to sink our teeth into here. But we did have another one. We actually did have another one. This one was also from DBD Leaks. And it says that chapter 25 is meant to be a second Resident Evil chapter. Now, if you know me, if you watch the stream, TTV, das_food, you'll have a great time. Go head on over there. If you've watched, you know that I've been asking for Ada Wong for a long time. I've been saying, let's get a second Resident Evil chapter and get Ada Wong. So, needless to say, very excited if this turns out to be true. But it's not perfect. So, they have Rebecca Chambers. I neither like nor dislike Rebecca Chambers. I feel very little either way. As far as DBD protagonists go, you know, whatever. We've got in Claire, Chris, Leon, Jill, Ada. Really, just having Jill was enough for me. So all the others, that's plenty more. I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not going to complain about it. But then the downside is Albert Wesker is the killer. Man, I don't know. I don't want to be a whiny content creator who every time they do everything, I just say, behavior bad. But like, I don't know. Was Wesker really the play here? I mean, if they want internet points, if they want the big reaction, obviously Lady Dimitrescu would have been the choice. However, I understand that she wasn't a super relevant character to the actual game she was in. She was more relevant to the internet as a whole than she was the actual story she was in. Whatever. Okay. So what about Mr. X? Mr. X is great. Don't we like Mr. X? I mean, I guess for me personally, I would have also liked to see William Birkin as a possible villain. But again, I know there's not that name value. I'm glad they didn't go with a member of the Baker family. I just really wouldn't be that excited for that. But you know, again, am I excited to be returning to Resident Evil? Yes. Ada Wong's going to be awesome. Possibly a part-time main for me. Outside of that, the rest of the chapter seems kind of forgettable. But look, I'm going to give all of these a chance. I'm not writing anything off yet. I am always excited for new content, so we'll see. I am conflicted with chapter 26, which is set to be original with an unknown survivor and a night killer. Like a medieval knight. Which is one of the cooler concepts they've had for a killer. Is it a pirate? No. Is it probably the next coolest thing? Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm not gonna wax poetically for 20 minutes about, you know, what I want to see from a night killer. We might one day do a video about the night killer, but keep in mind, if these leaks are true, if they're true, this is like half a year away. This is half a year away. So we'll have time. We'll have time to talk about the night and Ada Wong. Gosh, you know we're going to talk about Ada Wong. But all of that to say, if this is the roadmap for the upcoming year in terms of what they're bringing character-wise, not bad. Not bad. Now, I do wonder, this will be the first time they've double-dipped in a licensed property. So, what is the reaction going to be like? And also, on a separate note, what is the reaction inside behavior like right now with these massive leaks? Because look, they may be false. You know, huge letters, all caps, exclamation points, asterisks, whatever you need. These leaks may be false. However, we know that DBD Leaks, at LeaksDBD on Twitter, has been right about things in the past. This is, by all accounts, a fairly reliable source. Now, they may have gotten whoever their source is fired over all of this. I don't know. This is huge. And one reason I want to make this video is to say that I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed that if they had this information, I'm disappointed in whoever it was that kind of brought this to light. And I'm not saying it's not a moral issue. So that's one thing I always want to clarify. Like, you can be disappointed on a moral level and just on a personal level. Obviously, morally, you know, leaking information, it's their job. I get that. But as a player of Dead by Daylight, I'm a little disappointed that the next 3 chapters have presumably been leaked. Now, With that being said, part of it, double-edged sword here, no pun intended, because a night chapter, presumably with like a castle map, that's extremely cool. That's really, really cool. And I like that that means 2 of our next 3 chapters will be original, because I want more original chapters. So that's good, but I am kind of disappointed that we're going to miss out on the fun speculation of, ooh, what might be coming in chapter 25? Ooh, what might be coming in chapter 26? And, you know, these things might be wrong. We'll speculate as we need to, but I don't know. I'm a little disappointed by that. Let me know in the comments. Is anybody else kind of disappointed to possibly know about all this? But really, how do you feel about all this? I feel like we all need to deep sigh of relief here, because this is kind of a big one. This is the biggest leak that has ever come out in the time that I've been a part of the DBD community. And keep in mind, I started playing DBD probably like a month, 2 months before the Clown was released. So I've been here a while. This is massive. And me personally, just to give you the overview, kind of the TLDR of it, right? I'm excited for the Dredge. I am very excited for this killer. The design is fantastic. The power seems interesting. Haddie is not going to be a survivor I'm very excited about. I'm just not seeing it. You know, usually when it comes to a survivor, their perks are what you get excited about, and I'm just not hyped for these perks, man. I'm just not feeling these perks. The one that speeds up gens is particularly scary. A second Resi chapter. Look, I'm a Resi nerd. I love the series. I'm excited, but nervously excited, and I'm not super happy that Wesker is the other. What was her name? Okay, hold up. What was... You're gonna hear me hitting... Let's see. Resident Evil... what was her name? Yeah, Shiva. Why couldn't we have Shiva if we were getting Wesker? Shiva was cool as hell. Why couldn't we get Shiva? Shiva? I'm losing my ability to speak. I just combined Wesker and Shiva to be Shiva. Yeah, why couldn't we get Shiva? Shiva was badass. And there's still time. Maybe they do that. But either way, that's exciting. And then a night killer is something that, like, if you had told me you can't have a pirate, but you get to pick one other theme, a night would have been pretty high up there. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait to, you know, Days Volt my way through the fog. It's going to be fun. I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of on the fence about all this. I think the new upcoming perks are what I'm most worried about, but we'll see. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I've been Das Food. Until next time, take care of yourselves and don't leak too much information at once. We're trying to be logical about it here, boys and girls. We're trying to not ruin the fun, but I don't know. You know, leak accounts are going to do what leak accounts do. And in the very least, it's a little hypocritical of me to complain about it, because, you know, here I am making content off of it. So whatever. Anyway, that has been my obviously very short thoughts on all these leaks. I am so sorry that I kept you this long. Go enjoy your day, whatever day it is that you're hearing this. And until next time, bye, friends.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my